Valentine's or Galentine's Day, everybody. I love this time of year. I love pink, I love red, I love hearts, and I especially love romance books. So, of course, today we are going to be celebrating Valentine's Day by reading two of my. We are going to be celebrating Valentine's Day by reading romance books by my favorite romance authors. So, of course, if you guys know me, Abby Jimenez, we are going to be reading the Happy Ever After playlist. I'll get the titles of these books right eventually. I love Abby Jimenez. Nobody writes a romance book like Abby. If you want to get into romance, Abby Jimenez is the way to go. So we're going to be reading this by Abby Jimenez. We love her. And a more recent romance author that I have just absolutely fallen in love with her writing, Elsie Silver. You might be like, Grace, duh, it's Elsie Silver. But I have never been into like the cowboy romances. At least I didn't think I would be until I read Off to the Races. And I was like, yeah, this is for me. Yeah, sign me up for this. So we're going to be reading Flawless by Elsie Silver. And it's also funny that they are both pink and like Valentine's Day-y covers. I love it. Covers and colors. I love it. Okay, so let's just dive straight into these romance books.
Hello, everybody. I'm about halfway through Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I realized that I never gave you like a plot summary. So let me start with that. So our mailman character is Rhett Eaton, and he is a professional bull rider. He is very famous for being a bull rider. He's one of the best of his generation. And he gets into this fight, and basically his career is on the line. Okay. It was a very big scandal, a very big falling out for everything to do with Red Eden. People are looking at him differently. It's a big ordeal. So his agent sends his daughter, the agent's daughter. The agent sends the agent's daughter. It's a Monday. Okay. It's Monday. Agent sends the agent's daughter to go and watch over Rhett and make sure that he doesn't get into any more trouble because everybody's jobs are on the line, because if Rhett doesn't have a job, then his agent doesn't have a job. Anyways, so of course you know where this is going. It's a romance book. Okay. There's forbidden romance, forbidden love. Like they can't be together because they work together and like Rhett's agent would kill both of them if he found out that they were dating, all of that. And there's also kind of like a playboy vibe that Rhett has going on. The world hates him. Everything's a mess. So let's get into my thoughts. I started out this book absolutely hating Rhett Eaton. I was like, he is so cocky. He's so full of himself, so self centered. I was like, I'm not going to enjoy this book. The character development that we have seen in the first half of this book has been great. Okay. I'm no longer hating on him. I don't despise him. I can tolerate him. Maybe I even like him a little bit. So I have that to say about this book. Obviously, I don't want to give too much of the plot away. I feel like romance books, the plot's usually pretty straightforward. So I don't really want to say too much, but I really love Summer Hamilton because she is so together. She's so with it. I aspire to be like her. She's very put together, knows what she's doing, doesn't take anything, you know, that kind of strong female main character that I love to see. I'm going to keep reading this. Hopefully, I can finish it today. That might be a little ambitious. We will see. Okay. I will update you guys either when I'm done or if something crazy happens. The character development that we have seen in the first half of this book has been great.
The character development has been great.
Hello, everybody. It is now the next morning, and I left my tripod sitting exactly where it was after you saw me in the last clip because I was absolutely devastated with the third act conflict. So let's talk about that. I did finish Flawless, so I can give a review of this one as well. Okay, the third act conflict, now that I've moved past it, I'm just going to pretend like it didn't happen. It really wasn't bad. I mean, it was bad, but it just felt so wrong for all of the character development that our male main character went through in the first like majority of this book. For him to just like say what he said to our female main character, it was like shocking. Like it was jarring to have that quick of like a switch up from him. But then like the rest of the book, it pulled me back in. But the third act conflict, it really took me out of the moment and loving our characters because I was just like, it was like whiplash almost. So that's what I thought about the third act conflict, in case you were like, she's really having a reaction to that. The rest of the book, like I said, it pulled me back in. I ended up giving this book a 4 stars just because the third act conflict really took me out of it. So that's my thoughts. I still recommend this. I love this. Go and read an Elsie Silver book if you haven't read an Elsie Silver romance book. They're so fun. They're so fun and they're so fast paced, and the print, like the font's really large. I love it. Okay. So now let me talk about the Happy Ever After playlist because I did also start this last night and got pretty far in. I couldn't sleep. I don't know. Who knows? But I started this, so let me give you a little bit about the plot. So our female main character, I can't really say too much about her. I actually don't think you should read the back of this book because it gives too much away about the first book in this individual standalone. So definitely start with that one, then come to this one. Don't read the back of this book before you pick it up or pick up the first one in the series. You can read it after you finish the first book in this individual standalone series, but there's major spoilers for the first book on the back of this one. The plot of this book is that our female main character is driving along. You know, she's been going through some stuff. Some horrible stuff happens to her in the first book, and she's working through all of that. And as she's driving in her car, a dog jumps up onto her car and then climbs into her car through the sunroof. She's like, whose dog is this? Where did this dog come from? Why did it just jump in my car? You know? So she takes the dog to the vet and is fully taking care of this dog, finds out that the dog at the vet has an owner. And she's like, well, who is this guy and why would he just let his dog out? Like, what an unresponsible owner. So she finally gets a hold of him. And he's like, I'm out of the country and my phone was turned off. Like, I'm sorry that I wasn't responding to you. And basically, they agree that she should continue to watch the dog while he's out of the country. And that's how they meet, which is such an interesting meet cute. Very unrealistic, but also, like, I'm here for it. He also has some secrets. He also has a past. And I mean, it's Abby Jimenez. Like, I feel like for both of these books, like, I don't even need to explain that they're good because of the authors. Like Abby Jimenez and Elsie Silver. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, the books are good. I don't even that doesn't even need to be said. Need to be said. I'm gonna continue this one, but another Valentine's Day tradition for me is, of course, going to Dunkin' and trying the Valentine's Day menu. So let's go to Dunkin' and let's get a yummy drink and, of course, a darling little heart donut. I'm also obsessed with their grilled cheese. So if you haven't had one of those before, I highly recommend them. It's on sourdough bread. Delicious. Okay, let's go to Dunkin'. But that's my updates on the books.
Hello everybody, welcome to the car. Bit of an odd angle. It's all I got. So I got the the Heart Eye Daydream Refresher, which is strawberry, dragon fruit, and blueberry. And I was like, well, why don't we test it together? Why don't we taste it? Let me tell you what I think, all right? So you have to get a straw. I don't care, like, you have to mix the cold foam in. That's the point. All right. That's so good. Hey, I'm gonna start adding blueberry to my strawberry daydream refresher because this is so good. Oh my gosh, it tastes like Valentine's Day. I don't know how else to describe it. It tastes like Valentine's Day. Okay, so I got a cream-filled donut, and the last time I did this, it was in the heart shape. So let's see if it's still in the heart shape. Yeah, it is! Wait, let me show you. Guys, it's so cute. I'm feeling love. I love Valentine's Day. Okay, and you guys are propped up against the box for my grilled cheese, so I'm gonna have to end the video so that I can go and eat. Let me know what you guys get from either Dunkin' or Starbucks or whatever your favorite coffee place is for Valentine's Day, and if they have fun drinks and what you recommend, because if you insist that I have to, a cop just looked at me. If you insist that I have to go and get another fun Valentine's Day drink, I will indeed do that. So anyways, okay, I'm gonna go drink my delicious drink, eat my darling little donut, and my grilled cheese. Okay, bye.
Hello, everybody. I am getting ready for bed, and Cooper. Okay. Cooper's here too. He had to let you guys know that he's here. He's like, why is she holding up a book like that? Cooper's very confused. Okay, anyways, I finished the Happy Ever After playlist, and Abby Jimenez is such a wonderful person. Okay, let me talk about the book first. I'm getting off track. I'm getting off topic already, and I've been recording for 30 seconds. The third act conflict of this one also took me out of the book a little bit, because it, again, was just kind of gross. Again, like, Abby Jimenez pulled me back in right when I was like, not quite sure about that one, Abby. She pulled me back in immediately, and I love the rest of the book. But third act conflicts really make or break a book for me. But these two authors have proved that even if it's not the best third act conflict, they can still win you back over. So I ended up giving this one a 4.5 stars because the main reason that I absolutely love this book, I read it, I was like, this is kind of like a crazy plot. You know, it's kind of a little bit silly funky. The end, the author's note at the end, the woman Abby Jimenez is, I swear. I swear. So she wrote this book loosely based off of her best friend and what happened to the female main character in this book. I'm not going to get into that. Like I mentioned earlier. So she like used writing before she was a published author. She used writing as basically her therapy, just like getting all of these things off of her chest, you know? And she wrote about her friend and her situation, and it ended up being published, and this is it. And I just think that that's so sweet and so special, and also so encouraging, because sometimes things feel like they're just dreams, and yet this is proof that if you love something, go after it. Because I mean, now Abby Jimenez is a household name for all of the readers out there. Everybody knows Abby Jimenez if you know books. So what started off as just a hobby and her version of therapy ended up being her entire career, and now she's doing something that she absolutely loves. So I love that. I love that message, and I'm really heartbroken for her friend. Um, we're gonna take a moment for that because wow. But this was one of Abby Jimenez's first ever books. You can definitely see the progress that she's made since this book, but I still absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved her. Love the inclusion of animals. It just really makes a story for me is having an animal in there. Love her. Loved it. Loved it. I mean, what else can I say? All right. That is everything that I have for today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day. If you don't have a Galentine, I volunteer as tribute. We can go and get a coffee and a book. And what more does a girl really want? All right? What more does a girl really want at the end of the day? Anyways, let me know who your favorite romance authors are, or just authors in general if you don't read romance. But I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Happy reading!